Level 1, the intern. You didn't get Goldman, you didn't get a hedge fund. You got the largest asset manager on earth. That distinction will take you years to fully understand. You're 21. Junior year, the interview process was 2 rounds and a higher view assessment you recorded in your apartment at 10 p.m., wearing a button-down and gym shorts. You accepted before you finished reading the email. 50 Hudson Yards. The building is 77 floors of glass and institutional stillness. Not loud, not aggressive, just permanent. You walk through the lobby on your first morning and the scale of it hits you immediately. Not the architecture, the quiet. Goldman has a lobby that sounds like ambition. BlackRock has a lobby that sounds like $14 trillion. Those are different sounds. Your intern class has 200 people. You will spend 10 weeks learning a firm that manages more money than the GDP of every country on Earth except the United States and China. The number doesn't feel real on day one. It never fully feels real. That's one of the things nobody tells you. Your job is portfolio analytics and not making mistakes. The models are real. The risk frameworks are real. The associate who sends back your analysis at midnight with 3 questions and no greeting is real. At the end of 10 weeks, they call you into a glass conference room. Return offer. Full-time analyst, $100,000 base. You accept. You call your father. He asks what BlackRock does. You explain it. He asks if it's like a bank. You say not exactly. He asks if it's good. You say yes. You mean it. You start in September. Level 2, the analyst. The offer was real. The size of what you joined was not something the offer prepared you for. You're 22. Base is $100,000. Bonus brings total comp to around $140,000 in a good first year. The number is right. The context is different from anything you expected. BlackRock manages $14 trillion. You are one of roughly 24,000 employees globally. At Goldman, analysts know the partners by name. The firm is large but legible. BlackRock is not legible. It is a continent with a technology platform running underneath it. That platform is called Aladdin. Asset Liability Debt and Derivative Investment Network. It processes risk analytics for $21 trillion in assets, more than BlackRock actually manages, because pension funds, insurance companies, and sovereign wealth funds pay to run their portfolios through it too. On your first week, someone explains this to you. You nod. You understand the words. You don't yet understand what it means to work for a firm whose technology is more powerful than the firm itself. Your job is quantitative: risk models, portfolio construction, factor analysis. You are not building pitch books. You are not selling deals. You are building the infrastructure through which institutional capital understands itself. That distinction sounds important. At analyst level, it mostly means excel at 1 a.m. The work is serious and the culture is quieter than you expected. No one is screaming across a trading floor. The floors at 50 Hudson Yards are designed for collaboration, open, modular, glass-walled. The building was built for this firm specifically. 4,000 New York employees finally together under one roof for the first time in the firm's history. It feels intentional. Everything at BlackRock feels intentional. You get your first bonus in January, $40,000. After tax, $26,000. You feel something. The analyst next to you got more. You spend 3 days trying to understand why. Nobody explains the discretionary element. Nobody explains it at any bank. The difference is this. At Goldman, someone tells you you're doing well. At BlackRock, the system tells you the signal is in the number. Read the number. Level 3, the associate. You survived 2 years inside a firm this size. That is not nothing. You're 24. Base goes to $150,000. Bonus brings total comp to around $200,000. The raise processed in a system notification. No call. No conversation. That is how BlackRock communicates good news. Efficiently, without ceremony. The firm is a fiduciary. Fiduciaries do not perform. You manage a junior analyst now. You check her work the way the VP checked yours. You send comments the way the VP sent them to you. The hierarchy reproduces itself one layer at a time. The models get more complex. The clients get larger. A sovereign wealth fund in Singapore. A public pension in California managing $500 billion. You are building analysis that shapes how those institutions see risk. They will never know your name. The Aladdin output will carry your assumptions. BlackRock does not run on mythology the way Goldman does. Goldman analysts believe they are Goldman. That belief is structural. It holds the culture together. BlackRock analysts believe they work at BlackRock. The distinction is subtle. The effect is not. One is an identity. The other is a fiduciary obligation. Larry Fink sends his annual shareholder letter. 20, 25, 30 pages depending on the year. Everyone reads it. Everyone discusses it. He has run this firm for 37 years and turned $165 billion into $14 trillion. His fingerprints are on every philosophy that shapes your workday. You will never meet him. He will never know your name. He will determine more about the direction of your career than anyone who does. Promotion review is in 3 months. You will get it. You piece this together from 2 hallway conversations and a performance system notification that says exceeds expectations. That is how BlackRock communicates the future, through architecture. You learn to read the architecture. Level 4, the vice president. You run the analysis now. Nobody above you sees that fully. You're 28. Base is $200,000. Bonus brings total comp to around $320,000 in a strong year. You take your parents to dinner at a restaurant in the West Village where nobody checks prices. Your mother orders the same thing she would have ordered anywhere. Some habits survive the money. Your job is client solutions. You sit across from the CIO of a European pension fund. He manages $80 billion. He is 55. He has run institutional money for 30 years. He is asking you how to think about duration risk in a rising rate environment. You give him the answer. It is structured, data-grounded, Aladdin-backed. He takes notes. You are 28. At Goldman, a VP with a client relationship like this becomes visible inside the firm. The MD above him knows the name, knows the account, knows the story. At BlackRock, the VP runs the analysis and the MD runs the relationship, and the relationship belongs to the firm's platform more than to either of you. The client trusts BlackRock. You are how BlackRock shows up. The distinction matters inside the firm. The client doesn't see it. You have a team of 4, 2 associates, 2 analysts. You know all their names. The MD above you knows your function. VP, multi-asset, client solutions. That description exists in a system somewhere. It is accurate. It is also the entirety of how the top of this building understands you. You start attending client conferences, Basel, London, Singapore, a 2-day forum in Zurich in November, where everyone talks about macro risk and nobody talks about anything else. The trips accumulate, the passport fills. You stop noticing which city the hotel is in before you check the room number. Level 5, the director. Goldman doesn't have this level. There is a reason for that. You're 32. Director. The title sits between VP and MD on every org chart and carries the specific ambiguity of a level that was invented to hold people who are almost something else. Base is $275,000. Total comp, around $420,000. The compensation is genuinely excellent. The clarity is not. Senior enough that analysts and associates address you with deference. Junior enough that MDs address you with instructions. You are the translation layer, the person who takes what the MD wants and converts it into something the team and the client can absorb. This is important work. It is also work that disappears the moment it is done well. Success at your level is invisible. Failure is not. You have been at BlackRock 8 years. You know Aladdin better than most MDs who joined laterally from Morgan Stanley or State Street. You know which risk models have known limitations. You know which client relationships are genuinely close and which ones are maintained by historical inertia, and no one has noticed the difference. You know where the political weight sits inside the firm and where it only appears to sit. This knowledge is your value. It is also your trap. The MD track opens next year. You are being considered. You have been considered before. The consideration is real. The outcome is not guaranteed. You keep executing. Level 6, the managing director. You originate now, inside a firm of 24,000 people, inside a platform managing $14 trillion. That is harder than it sounds. You're 37. Total comp this year is $800,000. The number is real. What it cost is also real. You brought in your first institutional mandate, a Nordic sovereign wealth fund, $4 billion in multi-asset allocation running through Aladdin. You worked the relationship for 14 months, conference panels, bilateral calls, a white paper your team wrote specifically, because their CIO mentioned the topic once at a dinner in Copenhagen. The mandate came in, your name is in the internal announcement. Your name will not be in the press release. BlackRock does not put individual names in press releases. The firm is the product, you are how the firm showed up. At Goldman, an MD's client win amplifies the individual. The firm is prestigious but finite. BlackRock's scale is so large that it absorbs the individual the way an ocean absorbs a tributary. The mandate is real. The firm's AUM moved by 0.03 basis points. You are aware of this calculation. You try not to run it. You miss your daughter's school play. You are in Frankfurt presenting to a committee that rescheduled 3 times and could not reschedule again. You call at 7 p.m. her time from the hotel. She has already gone to bed. Your wife answers. She says it went well. She says it the way she says things that mean more than they say. You have both learned to communicate in the gaps. You are the revenue now. The 8 years of invisible execution are finally visible. The visibility arrived exactly when you stopped having the time to notice it. Level 7, the Senior Managing Director. 300,000 institutional clients put their assets with BlackRock. You're one of the 200 people who manage the relationships that decide whether they stay. You're 44, Senior Managing Director. Total comp last year was $2.4 million. The year before, $2.1 million. The variance reflects market conditions, AUM flows, and a third factor. The compensation committee calls holistic contribution and that you have stopped trying to decode precisely. You sit on committees. You approve mandates you didn't build the models for. You mentor MDs who remind you of yourself at 37. Hungry, certain, slightly hollow, behind the eyes in a way they haven't named yet. Larry Fink sends his annual letter. You have read every one for 20 years. The language has evolved. The conviction hasn't. You have met him twice. Firm events, brief handshakes. He is precise and direct, and projects a seriousness that the building absorbs and redistributes. You have tried to model that quality in your own leadership. You are not sure you have succeeded. You have everything the 21-year-old in the higher view assessment wanted. The title, the floor, the view of the Hudson from 50 Hudson Yards that nobody looks at because everyone is in a meeting. You also have a son in college who calls when he remembers, a doctor who asks careful questions about sleep and stress using the tone doctors reserve for words they haven't said yet. A marriage that survived the years and costs something different now than it cost before. You are the most successful version of the person you set out to become. You manage a fraction of $14 trillion. The 14 trillion doesn't know your name. The fraction doesn't either. Only the number in the system does, the cycle. BlackRock will run the Summer Analyst program again next year. Right now, one of them is completing a higher view assessment in a campus apartment. Button down, gym shorts, 10 p.m. She is answering questions about her greatest strength and where she sees herself in 5 years, and why asset management specifically. She has a good answer for the last one. She researched it, she believes it, she'll get the offer. She'll walk through the lobby at 50 Hudson Yards on her first morning. The quiet of it will hit her, not the architecture, the weight of what happens in this building. The 4,000 people who move $14 trillion on behalf of clients who will never see this floor. She'll find her desk. She'll open Aladdin for the first time. She'll spend the next 20 years trying to understand a machine so large that even the people who built it can't see all of it at once. The machine doesn't stop. It just gets larger.